Yo, hi, Mr. Ken and
Hello,
Mr.
hello.
Brandon.
Hello.
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 Hi, good day, guys. Welcome to Mender Fitness number 6 episodes. Okay, for those who are tuning in live or play back this video, welcome. Feel free to just comment down there or click the link to join us here anytime. Okay, in any language, English, Mandarin, Cantonese, 冇问题，没问题。Okay. All right. So today's topic, okay, how to improve your life with minimal expenses, improve our quality of life with minimal expenses. Often we heard to improve our life, right? We will link to materialistic, like improve our get more monies, right? You can travel anyway, improve your life experience, get ourselves gear up with a lot of our materials, branded things, so
With
that
the
we
house,
can actually have
with car.
different experiences. Yeah, with houses and bigger and bigger and larger and more elegant, so that we can improve our quality of life. But today, I think Ken and Brandon here have a different perspective to share with. Okay, we are here to actually to share, explore. I would say explore more alternate perspective every week. Okay, on our life journeys or stories, challenges. Okay, more about what we're facing every day lah. Okay, so maybe we can start with Mr. Ken. How you think about what's your perspective on improving our quality of life?
First of all, happy Halloween. Anyone celebrating Halloween today?
Seriously, today is Halloween?
Chinese Halloween,
Oh, Chinese Halloween.
Oh,
Okay.
where the
aha.
gates of hell
Go.
open once a year for 1 month.
All right. The one is called the first of the 7 months, is it? The
First
first
of
of
seven,
7 months.
7 month in the lunar calendar. Yes.
I see, I
I
see.
only knew this yesterday when actually I was having dinner. I had two dinners yesterday. I forgotten I had
Okay.
another dinner date, so I had to have two dinner. And then that person said, "Oh, you gotta get home by 12 a.m." I said, "Why? Are you Cinderella?" I said, "No, you after 12 you'll be the first day of that day." He said, "Oh, Halloween."
All right. What will
Anyway,
happen if let's say you
uh,
haven't reached your home
I
before
don't know.
that?
I reached home at 11:58, so I'll tell you next
Okay.
year. I'll try next year.
Okay. We will try next year, right?
Uh,
Okay.
Back to this topic, how to improve your quality of life. Maybe I just share a little story about myself. Right. At first, when I think I myself included, right, when I look at this topic, how to improve quality of life, you think about how do we get more money? How do we
Mm-hmm.
improve our relationship? How do we improve our house? How do we improve our car? How do we improve our expenses? How do we improve our clothes? How do we improve the food that we eat and all this?
Yeah.
So I started after I graduated. I started working with a minimum wage job, just like any other graduate. It's a normal thing. So I started off as a secretary of a company, and from there, and throughout the years of working, and finally to become CEO and then executive director of a large corporation. And here's the funny thing, right? Throughout this whole thing, every time I get promoted, I get a bigger raise, I get a bigger bonuses, I get bigger what do you call this package and higher salary. But there is one constant that never change, right? Whether I'm earning 3,000 a month or I'm earning 10,000 or I'm earning 30,000 a month, I've still been living throughout the years. One constant never changed. Yes, the income changed, but one constant never changed. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. That means 每一次我的薪水一到，就是月底就没有了。不管赚多少钱，不管收入多少，为什么？Because my lifestyle is always catching up to my income. And when we talk about lifestyle, it can be infinite, right? You have a
Yeah.
car now. What else you want next? You want a bigger car. You have the most luxurious car and a sports car now. What else you want next? You want a boat. You have a boat now. You have a ship now. What do you want? And then you want
Mm-hmm.
an aeroplane. It never ends, right? You're wearing something now, and then all of a sudden you want these brands and that brands. And when I look back and I ask myself, what is all this for? Is it for me or is it for me to show to other people what watches I have? I love watches. I even have watches. I don't love them. I used to think I love them until I think to, until I don't wear them anymore. Even though I get expensive watches as gifts sometimes. And it's just the disparity and the difference between. I got a gift on my birthday, a $5,000 shirt, and my heart aches, right, for that person because I said I appreciate that gift, and if she's listening to this right now, I love you to bits, right? But it's just that before I would have loved it so much, right? Say, yes, I get to wear this, and I get to go out and get to show people, look, I'm wearing $5,000 shirt, and now it's like, oh, you just spent something on something that I will never wear. It's not because of the brand or anything. It's just that I wear what I feel comfortable now. So improve quality of life. I mean, if we are stuck in that mindset where we think, we need to earn more money to improve our quality of life, it doesn't improve if you start changing that perspective and the emotion inside on what we think about quality of life is as an anchor, as a core. Right? Uh, there was one time that I had a large windfall, 6 figures, and it was the high end of the 6 figures when I was 21 years old. And I spent it all in 3 months, right? Why? Because I'm buying emotions. I'm actually using money to buy emotion, like the same as gambling, the same as spending to show off or anything like that. We are actually buying emotions, right? Talk to any guys when they gamble, right? Or girls is the same, right? When they gamble, they always it's that that feeling when you're placing the bet
Adrenaline.
of the adrenaline. Talk to any girls that go shopping, right? The first branded bag or luxury bag that you buy, you'll cherish it, you'll keep it, you'll take care of it for 6 months, 1 year, and then the next bag you buy, and the next and the next, that happiness becomes shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. It's the same with relationships, like what we talked about last week. I think was this thing that I didn't bring up, that women when they get angry at their partner, right? Sometimes they pretend to be angry because they want to. Because the first time they get angry, the other partner will be like try to console her, 安慰他，过后他觉得，哎，他没有生气，他假假发脾气，为了要看对方还爱不爱他。That's towards the negative path. It's the same thing. 逛街也是一样，第一次逛街呢，那个快乐可能6个月变3个月，3个月变2个月，2个月变1个月，然后过后 we associate that with happiness. 我心情不好，我要去逛街，我去买东西。And then whatever they buy, right? They already got 20 shoes at home, and they buy the next shoe. That happiness only lasts for 5 minutes. So is that improving quality of life, or is that I don't know, is that just trying to catch up? That's what I meant by living by paycheck to paycheck, no matter what income you get. So to me, it all starts with emotion, where to improve quality of life, it's the perspective of half a let's take an experiment of a glass half full or half empty. Both are correct answers. When a glass is half filled with water, it is actually half empty. It's also half full. It's just
Yeah.
how we look at it. And if you look at it in a miserable way, that, oh, my glass is always half empty, it will never change. The water will always be there, but the way we react and the way we live our life will be in a negative way. And if you think that the glass is half full and you're content with it, then we live more happily. So I think it all starts with that. And there's a story I want to share, just a short story, right? Imagine you wake up, you go to work, and it started to rain, and you're walking to your workplace, and it started to rain, and whatever your coat or tie that you're wearing and all that is all drenched. You feel miserable, you feel cold. Then a car passes by at a high speed and splashes mud and water onto your face and clothes, and you feel so miserable. You reach the office late because of that. Then you get scolded by your boss and your colleagues are like saying, why are you late, and all that, and you have this bad feeling. Then you go home, you see your wife or husband or kids, all right, and your kid's gonna come out and say, look, daddy or mommy, look what I drew today. And it's like, don't bother me, I had a bad day, all right? And then you go to sleep and you wake up. So that whole thing, the next day, how your colleagues, how your superior, how your family been treated because of that because how you react to what happened to the world, the next day will be different. Now imagine this. Back to the same thing. You wake up in the morning, it started to rain, but you found a bag, and that bag is full of cash. And a full bag of cash, this is easily $1 million, let's say, and you felt happy, right? Even if it's raining and you're walking happily and a car passes by at a high speed and splashes mud and face all over you and your back, and you're still smiling and you continue to work, and when you arrive at work late, your boss comes and scolds you and happily say, "Oh, I'm sorry, boss, it won't happen again," because you're happy. You know you're already a millionaire, so hey, it's okay. Anything bad becomes good. You go home, you meet your husband or your wife, and they said, and then the children came and say, "Hey, daddy or mommy, look what I drew today." And you say, "Ah, very good," even though it looks ugly, but you said that's very good work and all that. You're happy. You had your dinner happy. You go to sleep happy. But before you sleep, you open up your bag and you see it's all Halloween money that Chinese use, especially on today, right? Which is worthless. But yeah, it's only used to be burned. Uh, but nothing changed, right? Everything, the exact same thing happened. The universe will never change for you. It's like the glass of half glass of water. It'll never change for you. But
Emotion change. Yeah.
how you react to it, then the next day you'll see the whole different universe. But because of how that individual reacts, positively or negatively. So it's not that the world is pushing you, it's how we see ourselves to be. I mean, we start from an anchor of perspective. So I think if there's any advice that I like to give is always look at glass half full and see how the world slowly change. It won't change immediately, but over time it will. Once we are content with what we have, and another preview of something that I like to share deeper, but I don't think the time will allow us to do it today, is how to do that with certain tools that I kind of created myself. It is to separate what your need, what your wants, and what your dreams are. And
Wow.
maybe another topic we can talk about that deeper.
Yeah. Definitely, we are really interested in it. Wow. So the key here is actually to remind us the two ways of the everything, right? The yin yang, the positive and the negative. So always to not just look at the one angle, to try to look on different perspectives so that you actually can get how to say won't keep yourself in the box lah, I would say. Because sometimes I believe Ken saying that we need to look at the half of the full of the glass, right? Half the full the of the water in the glass. But most of the time we need to practice on this. Most of the time we actually kept in the box. We can't see the place or the angle that full of the water glass. But then I believe Ken or Brandon will have some tips or actually experience to share with lah. Because that's the key to improve our quality. Because there's the key to how to improve our perspective on the world. Things never change. The universe still the same. There are 1 second still 1 second, 1 minute still 1 minute. But the thing is how we see the world change. But that because of the mindset and the emotion we have, it's changed based on something's happened in the past. It could be because of we seeing the money, a pack of money. Then suddenly we see the pack of ghost money. So things differently. Things change. So something really changed. But the universe never changed, but something is changed in our mindset. But how? The tips is the key here is how we can actually still once this thing change, right, still we can actually see the both side of the glasses, like the empty part and also the full of the glass, and then we got the ability to choose how we want to make the next decision on our life, right?
3D
Correct, Brandon?
perspective.
Brandon, 我们很紧张，要听你分享有什么 tips 可以 actually improve our decision on to improve our quality of life, throughout by changing the mindset or control mindset.
I always like to hear Ken share, right? His stories always bring me way back and let me ponder about life, right? So everybody here that is listening, I think the first step is awareness, right? Awareness that every moment that we are actually consuming media, we are bombarded by messages, right? Messages like, "Oh, I need that new Tesla." You know, if you have been watching YouTube, if you've been watching social media, wow, that Dyson hair dryer, oh, yo, so nice. Oh, a Thermomix, you know, you can cook your food. Yeah. So every single moment when we are consuming media, chances are you're bombarded every day kena all these messages. And after a while, these things seem like a necessity in your life.
Mm.
Many people have that challenge, right? Although their income goes up, but it's never enough. Hashtag never enough, right? Just like just now. By the way,
Never.
yes, I wanted to sing that, but by Lauren Allred, Never Enough. I think that is such a beautiful song.
Yeah, great.
So, perhaps, yeah, first step is awareness, right? Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are consuming media that is pushing you, right? Sending thoughts into you to consume, 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 right? And coupled with emotional triggers, right? That's why they call it retail therapy, right? Especially females, right? They go to hypermarkets, they go to upscale shops to spend so that they feel better when they're triggered.
Retail therapy.
Retail therapy. Yes, there is such a word. Look it up. Yeah. So to put that in context, I think Ken hit it right on the head. Right. Many things in our life is a matter of perspective, and perspective is going to be highly influenced by our emotions, right? When you are, let's say, an emotion very thirsty, right? You will see the glass as half empty because not enough water for you to drink. When you finish the good meal, you had enough to drink, then you will see the glass as half empty, right? So our emotions drive our perspective. So perhaps I can share a short personal story, right? Myself. So when I was younger, right? So the first time I actually got my Voice for Health report, my emotional report, I saw fear and anxiety. I was like, what? This report is wrong. Nonsense. How can I, an international master trainer, have fear and anxiety? Come on. Nonsense. But then I had more time to look into myself, to introspect, to look deeper. And I realized that the fear and anxiety was because of money, which is basically smack on today's topic, how to improve your life with minimal expenses. So I'm really passionate about this topic, right? Because any way, anyhow, to make more money and to spend less money, I am there, right? I am the first one in line. However, fear and anxiety because of money, right? Let me elaborate. When I saw my own data, it showed that that emotion was injected into me, myself, when I was younger, right? Because through the report, we are able to see when was the emotion injected into us so that we have an idea. Remember, first step is awareness. If you are not aware of that emotion inside you, you have no chance at all in overcoming it. But when you become aware, many solutions will come your way. You will hear many podcasts that will inspire you, perhaps a podcast like this. Only when you become aware. Then,
And you admit yourself, right?
yes, exactly. When you become aware, you start to realize, aha, 係喲，我做乜嘢會咁樣嘅咧? So, to cut the story shorter, right? I realized that when I was younger, my parents often fought because of money, right? So when I was journaling, I found myself back in the time when I was in kindergarten, right? And as my parents will come to fetch me back from kindergarten, right? They think that I'm asleep behind the car. But then, hoi pin, So basically, they will start arguing about money. They will be saying, not enough and that. So I will be actually crying at the back of the car. But they don't realize that I am actually crying behind the car. Right? So little did I know that was the root of my fear and anxiety because of money. Okay. So let me get it. Let me put it out there. Let me get it straight. Emotions are neutral, but it is how we perceive emotions, perspective, that actually matters. Okay, let me elaborate. So the fear and anxiety because of money when I was younger really pushed me hard. Right? As I mentioned, if there is a way of making more money, if it's the way of spending less money, I will be right in front because of the emotion push me right to the front of the line. Right? So for many years, I was like that. It became my pattern of behavior. Right? I will always be thinking how to save more, how to earn more. Right? However, it came, so I had goals, and so, when you're younger, 1,000, big goal, right? 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, 1 million, goals after goals after goals, but nothing is ever enough. But as I hit a certain objective in my life, I begin to realize, right, my emotions that were pushing me forward, earning me money, are starting to hold me back. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
They are starting to hold me back. How? Even if I reached all my objectives, I wanted to use the money that I earned, right? But deep within, I will be like, no lah, we shouldn't use this money. I shouldn't use this money. Then I'll write a pros and a cons list, right? More pros than cons. Ayo, buy. No, there are still cons. Cannot buy. Even if I've earned the money, if I've done everything to deserve that, I didn't allow myself to buy it. So, as you can see, the emotion that was pushing me forward started to hold me back. So I'm sharing this story with the intention to inspire some of you, right? What are some emotions that have served you in the past, but is beginning to hold you back? And my message to you is, don't be like me. I suffered with this emotion for years before I had the realization that, wait a minute, it is only an emotion. An emotion is neutral. It should not control your life. Are you exploding for no particular reason after a long day at work? Are you finding yourself having difficulties in relationships? And do you see a recurring pattern? Something that is happening over and over and over again in your life? I can tell you that it is related to your emotions. And most likely, they are injected, just like my case, when you were younger. And the sooner you realize, the sooner you become aware that it is merely an emotion, an energy in motion within you, you will live your best life ever. That I can assure you.
I think the everyone who actually attract by this topic, they want this answer, like live your best life, live your everybody unique, right? Your best life. So
Yes.
the key here is actually to how to handle our neutral emotion, right? How to actually,
Supposedly neutral emotions, but
yes.
we overcompensate.
Oh, okay. But the key here is still the very, very basic and essential tips will be the awareness, right?
Number one, that is the
Always
first
number
step.
one.
And I always like to say, you don't know what you don't know. That's why do leverage on technology, right? I had trouble writing essays when I was young, right? If only I have Chat GPT when I was younger. If only I have ability to leverage on AI. So I always tell my daughters, times have changed, right? Whatever you don't know, you type it in ChatGPT, you get your answer in seconds, polished answer, and any version you like. I grew up with Google. Google was transformative. It changed the world. But for my children's generation, ChatGPT is amazing. It's going to change the world yet again, right? So, but until you become aware of emotions that are holding you back, you do not have the ability to change. Any change is superficial.
I believe the Brandon saying that these tools is the voice for help. So the AI tools that we have actually can use just your voice. Actually, you can know the insights of your emotion, your physical health by just scanning this QR code. Then you can do a try on it. Yeah, Brandon, can you give me more a little bit details on the technology behind?
Cool. So it is an AI-based vocal biomarker service. What it does is basically it records 3 minutes of your voice. You just need to read a script that you see on the screen, press record, read 3 minutes, press submit, and you are done. Right? The AI will actually go through your voice data, and produce a report on your physical, mental, and social health. That's it.
Wow.
And traditionally, if you want awareness, if you want insights, what do people do? Traditionally, people will go and hide in the mountains. Go, go to a monastery. His Han
Chuka.
Kinsifu, right?
Yeah.
Months or for years to get the awareness, right? So this is really deep stuff. But because of technology, we get it through our voice, which is amazing. Every time I get the opportunity to debrief a client, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. The same feeling. Why didn't I, why isn't this technology available soon? Yeah.
Yeah, agree that because with the technology we can able to actually almost get it instantly lah. I would say no need to wait for months. I think of course you can pick the choices lah, like go to the inside of the mountain, the forest, and then get the minds to have your deep inside. That's a journey to appreciate on it. But if you just really wanted to tackle or just to need more understanding on yourself, right, you can just benefit on this too, so that you can actually how to say compare the report with your own perspective. Like we have our own perspective on how to see ourselves in mirror or in our conceptual, whatever. But we have this report. Usually, you try it out, then you can actually have more data. I would say have more data, right? Can I believe you tried this before, right? So can you tell us a little bit about this?
Here's the thing. I've always been a pro technology guy, which is why I'm in blockchain and non-fungible tokens and all this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, part of it for the money, but part of it is because the more I understand about technology, the more I know that you can never take it away. It's going to consume the world. It's going to be there, whether you like it or not. And yes, there are some certain parts of people that say, no, technology is bad. It's going to take away a lot of jobs. It's going to do this, going to do that. It's going to take over the world. AI is going to be the new human being. We will be the slaves to machines and all this. Could be true, right? We never know. Nobody knows the future. But what I know is if you look into the past, horse carriages company were trying to stop the production of cars to be on the street. And it's called a red flag day. It started in New York when New York State passed a legislation, which is a law that requires any motor vehicle on the road. At that time, there were horses and carriages. So any motor vehicle that wants to be on the road, they can do so, but they need a person driving, a person sitting next to them, and one person carrying a big red flag, walking in front of the car and waving it to all the passerby and all the horse carriages, so there's no accident.
to
What's
prevent.
what's the point of driving a car then if you're slower than a horse? Because you need a person actually walking there and waving. It's called a red flag day. That's why they call it red flag day. And they did it in the UK as well. And it's all this because the horse carriages company had monopoly on the production. What happened? Everyone's driving a car today. You don't see
Yes.
horses on the street. It's the same thing as how telco companies were trying to stop the availability of internet, right? I think we are in the same generation. Imagine we tried to call overseas when we were younger. How much does it cost? It
Yeah.
costs per minute. We gotta talk so fast and hang up the phone before
I
the credit
agree.
finishes, right? And even phone calls, right? And our SMS per SMS was like what, 50 cents? Now our SMS is free, right? And now we
Yeah.
can call and do video call for free. It's the same as how telco companies try to stop the advancements of internet, and look where we are. So
Yeah.
with AI, right? Yes, a lot of people said, this could be something new. I'm not going to touch it yet, and all this. You just have to look back. If you look back at mathematics, right? They say the lazy way is to use a computer to calculate for you. The smart way and the supposedly hardworking way is to use a paper and just 1 + 1 times 3 times that and put a bracket and all this and to do up the whole formula. Now, if you're going to calculate something, who uses that anymore? We use calculators to do that. Is that beneficial to us or is that the lazy way? Maybe they're right. It's a lazy way, but I would say it's more effective way to get the answer, exact same answer they'll come up with. So with AI, with vocal biomarker, maybe like 1 minute or 2 minutes. Is it 1 minute or 3 minutes of your
3 minutes.
voice recording where it's sent up to this Netherlands technology where they use big data to analyze emotions and all this through our voice, and it's something that's available there for you, right? You just have to try it out. We like it or don't like it. It's another way. But second point I want to point out is self-awareness, like what Brandon said. Emotion is neutral, right? Emotion can be a tool if you are aware of it, right? Anxiety, sadness, melancholic, sangsi,
Loneliness.
all this, loneliness, all this can be positive. I've used melancholy, I've used sadness and loneliness to make myself feel better. All right. I sometimes when I'm just too busy with life, I just isolate myself in a room, watch some sad movies, and try to relate that particular thing that's happened in my life, and I feel that sadness, and I don't what do you call this? I don't prevent it. I don't try to push it away. I just let it envelop me. I just let it come into me,
Wow.
and I just cry, right? And after that, I felt so good. It's like a gym session, right? Who likes to go to the gym, right? It's like you're suffering when you're doing a bench, you're walking on the treadmills and all this, but you're doing it, because you'll feel better after the session. Once your legs
Mm,
start to hurt, your body start to ache. Or a badminton. Who likes to play badminton? Yes, while you're playing, your body aches. You can't run anymore, but you force yourself to chase after the shuttlecock. But but after that, after I sweat, the next day I'll feel better. So it's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with emotions, right? So it's like there's no bad emotion, right? Anger, sadness, loneliness, everything can be good, but you just got to be aware. And once you're aware, it becomes a tool. But if you're not aware, then it takes over your life and it envelops you and controls
Yes.
your life. So
Yes.
it's up to you to choose, right? But the first thing for me is self-awareness. Once you're self-aware, nothing can harm you. But you can actually, like what Brendan shared, anxiety can be used for the betterment of his life or let it take over his life. And that once that light bulb clicks in his head, right? It knows, oh, emotion is neutral, and it can actually, and it took a long way to do that. And because of that passion, he's found a shorter way. He found a calculator, right? Rather than trying to teach maths 1 plus 1, he found a calculator to do that. And why not just
Yeah,
try it
life.
out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, life. Sometimes we just cannot do the God job, let it flow. So usually,
Exactly.
I believe what Ken says is usually we who suffer or struggle on emotion is actually when we want to against it, we want to stop it up, we want to ignore it, or we try to not think about it, but it's actually there inside our mind, inside our body, the energy, emotion. We remember it, right? Emotion, energy, emotion. It's actually there. So what Ken say is actually embrace it and let it flow and understand it and actually use it as a tool. Right, Brandon? Use it as a tool.
That's right. That's right. And for those of you watching, chances are you will either be an emotionally inward person or an emotionally outward person, right?
Mm.
If you are one of those that are emotionally inward people, right? Here's a tip for you: share your emotions. It may feel counterproductive for you because you're not used to sharing your emotions, but through data, what I see is people who keep their emotions inside, gokchi. You know the saying, gokchi. Got what you冇啊，right? So when the emotion is stuck inside you, it manifests. It will
Mm.
grow, it will ball, and one fine day it will explode, right? But if you're not so lucky, if there are no triggers to help you explode that emotion out, that emotionally inwardness will lead to diseases,
Mm.
right? So for those of you who are not sure what is this disease, really my emotions linking to disease, it is actually well studied, right? Even if you look at the word disease, right? How do you spell disease?
This is.
DIS, right? This EASE, ease, which means when you are not at ease with your emotions, disease manifests, right? And the data is there, my friends. When you are emotionally inward, when you keep the emotions within you, it will manifest into disease, right? And my heart just goes to people who are suffering from chronic illnesses, right? Cancers. Um, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say too much, right? But I just want you to know that the emotions, right, when they cannot get out of you, they will manifest one way or another, right? And for those of you 讲中文的朋友，疾病又是怎么写的呢？疾病，right？两个字，疾病都是心字旁的字，有没有发觉？Right? Do you realize that both 疾病 and disease already gives you words have power? The words have already gave you tips, right, on what is the source of diseases, right? So I'm not saying that what you're experiencing last week, last month, last year will cause you a disease. But what I'm saying is accumulated emotions throughout your lifetime. When you do not process them they will lead to disease. So maybe I'll share a quick story, right? Since I remember that story with one of my early clients, right? So she is from China, right? So when she was in China, she had a screening done at a hospital, and she discovered that she had liver cancer, right? So as she came to Malaysia to make Malaysia a second home, she discovered that she did the Voice for Health report, right? And she discovered that actually that indicator is present, right? And she was shocked. She said, "No, no, no! I had my part of my liver already removed in China. Why is this happening to me?" So as I journeyed with her deeper to realize the emotions that were trapped inside her, it all came out, right? It all came out. She realized she had the awareness that due to relationship situation with her husband in the past, right? She harbored hatred and she has not resolved it. Although she and the husband are still staying together, but it was never resolved. She just kept it inside, right? How many people do you know with this situation? How many people know that the emotions inside are going to cause them disease? So, my mission is to be a voice for health, right? So, I would encourage anyone who wants to explore Voice for Health. Your voice will determine your health through your emotions. Click on scan the QR code below.
Yeah. Thank you, Brendan, for the great sharing on the I would say experience journey with the great technology and the real cases that you're facing before, and the advice that you're giving to all emotionally invert. I would say, is it called emotionally invert?
Very good. Yes.
Yeah. That's very important to express your emotions to any way you feel comfortable, right? How about the emotion outward? Is there any advice for them?
So for emotionally outward people, the data seems to be okay, but how do you spot an emotionally outward person? These people, right, whether they are angry, happy, sad, or confused, you see it all on their face, even if they don't tell you. So that is a tip, right? When you see someone, whether they're happy, sad, excited, depressed, you can see it all in their face. They don't even have to say a word. They should be okay, because chances they are emotionally outward people. But
Don't play poker. To them, don't play poker. Don't ever play poker. You lose all your money.
Anxiety.
That's right. I'm sure, through life you can see some of them. However, those really good poker players, be very aware of your emotions because they may manifest.
Scan that. Poker player, if you think you are a good poker player, scan that. Yeah. So that you can really aware your own true face. Sometimes we put too much of mask, and then until we already forgot who am I, right? Most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are so used to keeping that energy within, right? And since we are doing this, right, our intention to do this is to really share as much as we can, right, to our audience. So some simple tips, right, for those of you who are emotionally inward, right? Find a comfortable, find a safe person to share your emotions with. That is tip number one, right? It could be a close friend. It could be a total stranger that lives, or it could be a group that comes together to share, right? No matter what you do, it is important to really release these emotions, right? And if you can't find someone to share, journal, as I mentioned just now, right? Write down your emotion.
Mm.
The challenge is many people say, 我有講啊,but they do it wrongly. They just blah out the facts and figures which are not important. But they fail to really bring out that emotion, to process that emotion. Right? So for those of you who have a pen or a piece of paper lying down, write this down. Right? I feel ... because ... Okay? For example, I am feeling happy today because my daughter won in her English speaking competition. Simple.
It's a fact.
Yes, but but you have to process it out. Do not keep it within. So a practice is, no matter whether it's good, bad, not so good, just process it.
Yeah, do it on Cantonese, Mandarin.
我今日唔開心，因為好多嘢做。
Mm. Mm. I believe in Cantonese a lot. There's in the bar there, they do this. 我今日覺得好唔開心啊！我老細點樣
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of this, right? Yeah, they're
Yes.
actually doing in some way they are doing right.
Yes, they are processing their emotions, but do it in a safe environment.
Yeah, this is and trustable, right?
People,
I believe Ken had faced a lot of kind of friends and customer, right? That actually release their energy in this kind of way. But like Brandon say, they could be not in the correct way. Sometimes put too much of negative energy on the fact and the figures, but not really concerned on what they are feeling and the cause of the feeling. Is it, Ken?
I've spoken to people for 6 hours, 8 hours on the phone daily, right? Just for her to express her emotion. And I just have one advice, right? Until you can find the cause of this, right? Because to her, it's like the whole world,
crashing.
全世界都是一直对我，我就那么倒霉，我的命就是这样，神就是给我这样的命。Until you can start finding out, I said, look, if you talk to someone, the problem happens. You talk to a different person, the same problem happens. You talk to another person, the same problem happens, be it relationship, business, or whatever it is. You gotta start thinking: is the problem other people, or is it here, right? And point a finger onwards for. So when a pattern starts to happen, right,
Over and over again.
then you gotta start. It somehow, it happened to me as well, right? But one day I just realized, hey, this pattern is happening over and over again. It could be my fault, right? Otherwise, how could it explain to be so coincident that I met different people from different parts of the world and the same pattern, the same constant? I always look for that constant, right? So just being an outlet for her, I don't think it'll be enough, because the true purpose is to try and find the cause of it, like what Edward said, the cause of that emotion, and then deal with it, rather than I can be an outlet. It's okay, right? 6 hours, 8 hours every day, but
Wow,
still,
you're so gracious, Ken.
but still, look, that thing is, even if I'm there or I'm not there, right? That thing is that problem will still be there.
Yeah,
So
the problem is
having an
there.
outlet is not enough. You gotta
It
process
just
it. You
actually
gotta self-aware.
at the side there, saying that all things happen because of the core emotion, saying things that actually, I
That's
would say the consequences of the core emotion, but they
that's
never say about the core.
that's what I would like. That's what I meant when I said emotion starting to control your life and dictate what you do, rather than when you understand it, then it becomes a tool for you to use. So emotion is not good or bad. Like I said, anxiety, fear, loneliness, anger, it's not bad emotions. A lot of people associate them with bad emotions, but it's not. It's just how we use it.
So again, emotion is neutral, right, Brandon?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, how we gonna use it? Yeah, great. A lot of things we have today, and we will try a new way to actually note it out in the comment section or even with the visual of here. So emotion that hold us back, we need to actually aware on it and check out on it. Emotion is always neutral. It's just how we actually define
Perceive it.
it, transform it, perceive it. Yeah, the correct word, perceive it. So if you want a quick way, easier way, you can try Voice for Help by scanning the QR code right here. You do a screening, you can know instantly your current emotion situation, I would say, insights on your core and frequent emotions, that even though your physical health, so that you can actually live your life and improve your life with minimal expenses. They actually fit to the topic, yeah. So is there any things you want to add, Ken, Brandon, to our audience today, and whoever play back this, actually the last good advice for them?
Or perhaps I can go first. Right. So a tip for anyone who is watching how to improve your life with minimal expenses. A very, very effective, straightforward tip would be gratitude.
Cảm ơn.
感恩, right? So take a moment to really count your blessings, right? How have you been blessed recently? Being blessed might not just be a brand new BMW. Being blessed might not be a bigger house. But being blessed is having a warm meal with your close family members, having a cup of coffee with a friend.
By just listening, good sharing from Mr. Brandon and Ken, and also from
And
Daniel.
Evert,
Yes, Albert and Daniel behind the scenes bringing all this to you. And so being blessed, you watching this is already a blessing. You having a device to watch this on, and anything you want in life can come through that device, right? Kings in the past do not have this power. Right now, if any one of you is hungry, few clicks on your phone, right? Someone delivers it right to your doorstep, right?
Yeah.
Even if you do not have the money, buy now, pay later. So we are living life better than kings in the past. But if you do not realize, if you do not have gratitude, nothing is ever enough.
Yeah, we are living the life now. It's better than king.
I kid you not, better than kings in the past, right? Because king in the past, if they want to bathe in hot water, right? Few people have to go and carry water. Few people have to boil the water, right? And then the king steps into the hot shower, right? And it's a luxury. By the way, Europeans only shower 2 or 3 times
Yeah,
generations ago.
yeah,
yeah.
how do they go to toilet? Imagine that, and how we go to toilet now. How do kings go to toilet before? They go to toilet in the bedroom, right? Under their bed.
Exactly. The fastest way to improve your life with minimal expenses is to really feel gratitude of the things that you have in your life right now.
Yeah.
The air that you're breathing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that you
All
can
around you.
actually embrace it and feel certified. Yeah, because sometimes I heard people say like to actually be happy to actually I mean most of the goals that we have is actually to pursue on the happiness, right? Happiness, so you improve your life because you want to be more happy and more happy and more happier and more happier. So, but a lot saying that to be happy, but first thing is be happy. Then only you find a reason be happy. So that's the advice for mine. How about Ken?
Like you said, happiness. A lot of people are chasing after happiness, but can it be something that you can chase? Yeah, you look at the movie that I love so much, The Pursuit of Happiness. Can you actually pursue happiness, right? And then what does the movie talk about? Earning more money, right? So it's always this association of money equals happiness, and that's when we start to buy emotion. We are buying adrenaline. We are buying happiness. We are buying
But they also come with a cost. Yeah, come with a
unloneliness.
cost.
What's the opposite of loneliness? We are buying companionship. We are
Companionship.
buying, right? And it's especially in Asia, right? Like, only in Asia you can buy companionship. Amazing, right?
Amazing, yeah.
I mean, yes, in Western countries they do, but in a different way. But
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're always trying to buy, right? We're buying brides on the mail, on the website. We're buying wives, and it's not. It's all trying to purchase. Like, right, the word pursue has been associated to purchase. So a lot of people think to be happy, I need to have more money so I can buy more things, right? I've had people who come up, right, and say, look, what can I do to earn more money? I said, and I told them, right, to earn more money, you first, whether you trust me or not, but since you're asking, is to find your passion. Then you can earn money. If you can't find that passion, you'll always be a rat race, over and over again. No matter how much you earn, you'll still be living paycheck to paycheck. And I said, oh yeah, I'm so broke now. I can't even afford anything. And I said, show me your Instagram account, right? And I look at it and said, what is this? You say you're broke, but you're taking Grab to work and back every day, and you're every morning you're showing a cup of Starbucks with your name on it, and you call this broke, and you're complaining you're broke. I mean,
With a smiley face.
priorities, right? So, side note, right? Every time you do that, you're actually advertising for Starbucks for free, and that was the whole marketing plan. And notice if you go to Starbucks now, you buy a cup of, nothing against Starbucks, right? But buy a cup of coffee and you say like a normal name, they will write it wrongly on purpose. So it becomes a topic. You take it and you post it on Instagram. That's the whole purpose how Starbucks had this writing your name. Number one is to break that barrier, like, oh, I'm with friends now, instead of just doing a purchase. And second is for you to actually snap a photo of that Starbucks, that what, the Medusa head, the head of Medusa, or whatever it is, the logo, the green Medusa, right? It's free advertising for them. And so it's like, if you're doing it because you love Starbucks, fine, go ahead, do it every day, do it 5 days, 5 times a day, 10 times a day. But as long as you like it yourself, instead of you like it because you think other people likes it, so you do it.
Look cool, look cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you love it yourself, that's your passion, fine. By all means, go ahead. But if you're doing it because of other people's passion, then that's not your life. So
Yeah, live
find
your
your
life.
passion, find your life, live your life, and then that's when you know how to prioritize and start to find what you want to do.
Yeah, agree that. So against live your life. Yeah, Brandon.
Perhaps I would like to share one last quote that I was really inspired by. So this came out in the movie Fight Club, right? The movie featuring Brad Pitt. Remember that Fight Club, right? So there was full of wisdom in that movie. But one line that caught my attention was, "We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like."
We don't know, to impress strangers, basically.
Nowadays, we don't know because of the social media.
Think about it. Really take some time to think about it, right? Once you become aware the power of social media on you disappears. I hope, spend a moment or two to think about it, right? After the song comes out at the end, how are you going to improve your life with minimal expenses? Start with awareness. Thank you.
Awareness. Bye. Awareness. Bye. Awareness. Ka-ching.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Good night.